Today, we'll be taking a look at Vince McMahon's big television return. What's the latest with Brock? What's going on with Becky? And much more. Let's start things off with the WWE chairman, Vince McMahon, and his big return to television. It wasn't too long ago that we were discussing Vince McMahon and how it's been nearly a year and a half since his last appearance on WWE programming. Well, that long absence came to an end at Survivor Series, when Vince McMahon pulled up in a limo with Cleopatra's egg. Mr. McMahon made the superstars cheer and pop for the egg, even though most of them seemed a bit confused. Turns out that this egg is from The Rock's new movie, and he had given it to Vince McMahon as a gift. That reveal happened on the kickoff show, so no one really thought much into it. Maybe it was just an ad or some promotion for The Rock's movie and nothing more. But as it turns out, it seemed like this egg will be having its own storyline on WWE programming. Vince was shown during the main Survivor Series show, talking with Sonya and Adam Pearce backstage. But he pointed out how his egg has been stolen, how it was worth $100 million, and how they need to start calling the cops. Vince recalls that some backstage personnel were eyeing up the egg. He even speculated that maybe a citizen of Brooklyn had stolen the egg, but it was Adam Pearce who told Vince that it was most likely a superstar that stole it. Vince said that if it doesn't get found at Survivor Series, the hunt will continue on Raw, SmackDown, and so on. So this egg thing went from being an ad to being an actual WWE storyline. So what do we get here with this story? Looks like it's going down a path of a mystery reveal, with an individual being caught as the egg thief. It does sound pretty weird to be talking about an egg thief storyline for WWE, but it's a valuable item. It's a gift from The Rock to Vince McMahon. So it's a pretty big deal, and whoever stole it will most definitely have to face the consequences. So who stole it? Well, that's literally the $100 million question here. Immediate suspects will of course be everyone that first witnessed the reveal of the egg when Vince McMahon got out of the limo. Everyone that was outside of the limo were the first ones to see the reveal of the egg. So everyone there is high on this list. It's a shame we don't have the broke Baron Corbin character anymore, because he probably would have been high on the list of suspects as well, since he was always on the hunt for money and valuables. Of course, they can take it a different route, and maybe this is a way to bring a returning superstar back, or have a main roster call-up. But it's just such a weird and hard storyline to predict, because what's the payoff? It's obviously not the best way to bring someone onto WWE television, because they just stole something from the chairman that's worth $100 million. Why does Vince McMahon have any reason to keep them around at this point? Stealing something like that from Vince should be grounds for an immediate firing. So it can be a bit challenging from a writing perspective. Some fans are speculating if a return from The Rock could be possible, since it's his gift after all. And yes, even though that's technically possible, it just seems like too much of a weird storyline for The Rock. Everyone imagined The Rock returning to confront Roman Reigns, not him returning to go on an egg hunt with Vince McMahon. So it seems like a weird story. Could it be resolved in 1 week, or will this go on for a bit? It's also pretty weird to see Vince McMahon worried about this egg when there should be bigger problems for his character right now, such as the fact that his two lead WWE officials that are in charge, Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce, have been abusing their powers lately. Sonya is doing a lot with Naomi on SmackDown, and even Adam Pearce had done a few unjust things. So instead of focusing on that and looking into that situation with the WWE officials, Vince McMahon is looking for an egg. So we'll see how long this egg storyline lasts, and how long Vince McMahon's return lasts as well. Vince pops up here and there, but he doesn't tend to stick around that much in storylines. So we'll have to see if this is a brief return for him, or if he'll stick around for a bit. Looks like Brock Lesnar could be on his way back from suspension. Kayla Braxton broke the news to Paul Heyman during a backstage interview. Kayla revealed that she heard word that Brock Lesnar's suspension was no longer indefinite. Heyman got visibly uncomfortable after hearing that, But that's all Kayla really had to say. She didn't provide any more details besides that line. No actual return date for Brock or anything like that. So we're pretty much in the dark. But at least we know that Brock is on his way back. So that was a short hiatus this time around. We know that the Staples Center was officially advertising Brock Lesnar for December 10th, which is still a few weeks away. So will that be his first show back, or will he return before that show? Staples Center made it seem like he'll still be suspended by then, because they said Brock was going to buy a ticket for the show. Everyone still thinks that Brock Lesnar vs. Roman Reigns will happen at WrestleMania 38, but telling by how they're already teasing Brock's return, it looks like we may very well get another interaction between them as soon as December. There is no TLC, no December pay-per-view event this year. Survivor Series was the end of the 2021 pay-per-view calendar for WWE. And the next time that they will host a special event will be January 1st, 2022, with their Day 1 event. So do they use Brock at the Day 1 event to build more hype for that new show? It's most definitely a possibility. It does appear that Brock is returning with his eyes set on Roman Reigns. So we'll have to see if Brock is in fact Roman's next opponent once again. Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair kicked off Survivor Series with a very hard-hitting match that lived up to everyone's expectations. This match was one of the very few matches on the card that felt important. It had a great story and just felt like it really mattered. The story was that these two went from extremely close friends to bitter rivals who can't stand to even glance at each other. Both women told that story, starting with their entrances. Becky is a heel, but she usually cracks this cocky smile on her way to the ring. But that wasn't the case here. Her face was ice cold from the second that she came out, and that really helped tell the story. The finish of the match saw Charlotte attempt to cheat during the pin by holding the ropes, but she was caught. Becky Lynch rolls through and happens to do the exact same thing for the win. They're both heels, they both want to cheat to win, so it does make sense for both characters to attempt to cheat. But the biggest takeaway from this match is how great the story is. The storytelling between Becky and Charlotte was so great that the fans were even having this big debate amongst themselves on if this was work or if it had real elements. Becky had a post-match interview where she was very emotional, nearly crying after every single word that she said about how things used to be with Charlotte. So it's the first time in a while that fans are legitimately confused about what's real and what's not. And anytime you can doubt fans if something is real or not, it usually means you're doing something right. So Becky and Charlotte's story was so personal that it made fans actually second guess everything that they saw from them. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.